We are live and direct. What's going on, my peoples? Hope all is well. Happy Tuesday. If you are brand new here, as always, I want to know something about you. I don't want to do the city and state. I want to know something about you. Let me know what you do for if you have a 9 to 5 or if you are an entrepreneur. Drop 9 to 5 or business or both in the chat. I want to know who I'm talking to tonight. What's good, y'all? What's good? As you guys are joining, let me know if you have a job or you have a business or and both. Both of them. Okay. I'm also on YouTube live right now. So if you guys are watching us on Instagram, I'm also on YouTube because I like to spread the love. So we got some people on the Instagram. We got some people on YouTube. And you never know what people are going to find you. You never know what people are going to connect with you at. So I always like to do both when we can. So we got Cassandra says entrepreneur. Sparkle Cleaning says both. L. Bryan says job. Okay. YouTube, if you're joining, let me know if you got a job or you have a 9 to 5 or you got both. I'm open to the conversation. And Motto says both. Okay. So tonight, if you are brand new here and you have no idea who I am or what I do, I'm going to start with a little bit of background, but the conversation tonight is going to be about new business owners, specifically how you could come and start your business and start dominating in a foreign market. So I'll go back a little bit about myself. So number one, my name is Anthony. I am one of the founders of Cleaning Business University. Cleaning Business University is what was actually started 3 years ago, where we started teaching people how to start remote cleaning businesses, meaning our students don't have to go out and clean houses. And I'll kind of go into the business model and stuff like that. But I want to give you guys whoever's brand new a little bit of background on what we do. 6 years ago this week, we started our cleaning business. 6 years ago this week. So over the last 4 years now, last 4 years now, we've been able to celebrate every single year this week. So the reason we do digital celebrations, reason we do online celebrations are because we don't have a physical storefront. We don't have a physical business, meaning when we launched our business in 2017, there was no quote unquote grand opening for us. The grand opening for us was us just going on Instagram and saying, now we have a business. So every year over the last 4 years, we do a week of just kind of like giving back, our way of helping our community, our way of sharing our story, our way of just giving game information. We've done over $2 million in the cleaning industry without cleaning houses. Our students have done over 13 million now. We just got that word actually yesterday that our students have surpassed $13 million in the cleaning industry. And majority of them never cleaned a house. Majority of them are first-time entrepreneurs. And majority of them have 9 to 5 jobs. So that's a little bit about us. And when I say us, I mean me and my wife. So we run this page together. We run all of our businesses together, Cleaning Business University. But she is actually hosting a private coaching call tonight. So she couldn't be here, but she will be here tomorrow. So if you guys are missing her, you're not missing out on anything. So, and if you guys are joining and you have any questions, I will use some of the time as we're going through to answer questions. Remember, this is about you guys. So I will allow you guys to kind of steer the conversation a little bit. But I want to talk about beating the competition mainly because yesterday we spoke about, to give you guys a recap. Yesterday we spoke about the reasons we started a remote cleaning business and the reasons that we feel like is one of the best businesses to get into. A lot of people today are teaching things that they are no longer doing. So they're teaching you how to get into these industries and they're like, yeah, I don't do the thing anymore. And that kind of irks my gears sometimes where I want to work with somebody who is, yes, it's great that you've done the thing, but I also want to know that you're continuously doing the thing and growing. So we are still doing our cleaning business. We are still growing this thing and we are still actively involved and engaged. So if you're on YouTube right now, I want to know if you are a 9 to 5 or an entrepreneur or you have a job or business or both, whatever you want to call it or describe it. So drop that in the chat on YouTube. Instagram, if you got any questions, drop that in the Q&A box. But we spoke about our story yesterday. So we started our cleaning business to help us pay off $114,000 of debt. And that debt was our debt combined once me and my wife got married. And we had the car notes. We had two student loans. So my student loan was about $24,000. My wife's student loan was about $70,000. She got her undergraduate and she got her master's. She went to a private college, private university, Hofstra University in Long Island to get her master's degree. What else do we have? We have some credit card debt, and that was pretty much it. So car loan, credit card debt, and student loans. We had typical debt. And the reason we started our cleaning business, we mainly wanted to start this business as a way to help us pay off that debt a lot faster. So long story short, we paid off the $114,000 of debt in 23 months by side hustling. But our biggest quote unquote side hustle turned into this actual cleaning business thing. And we didn't realize what we had it took us like 2 years to realize what we had going on with this cleaning business thing. And we said, this might be the thing we should focus on, right? We get a lot of people who have conversations with us and they're like, well, I want to start this thing, and I also want to start this thing, and I also want to start this thing. And everyone's talking about these multiple streams of income. Everyone's talking about multiple streams of income. But it's like, if you don't have one stream of income that is working extremely well for you, why are we talking about doing something else? Does that make sense? Why are we talking about multiple streams of income if one stream of income is not even producing enough for you? And shout out to Celsius. I need them to sponsor me at this point. So for us, we stopped. We were watching dogs. We were renting out our car. We was on a bunch of different things. But we said, let's focus on this cleaning business thing. It has the highest potential. And we know it's a needs-based business, meaning it will always be around. So we went all in. And six years later, this week, we are closing in on $2 million in sales. Like I said, we've done over 8,000 cleanings, and we've had thousands of clients. So a little bit about our story. But let's talk about the competition. So 6 years ago, this week, we started our business, and we got some of our first jobs. Now, I want to talk about those first jobs because you always hear us talk about, or if you never heard us talk about it, some of you guys are brand new. But we always talk about how we never clean houses. Well, that's actually, we said we never been to a client's home. At the very beginning stage, there was a weekend, at the very first weekend we launched our business, this weekend, I told my wife that we should go to the jobs first. I said, we should go to these jobs and just see how it is. That was 2 jobs, and we said we would never do it again because it wasn't for us. That wasn't the reason we started this business. And a lot of cleaning business owners, they get in that habit where they feel like they have to do the thing. They have to go out. They have to see the houses. Well, that's absolutely incorrect. So we didn't want to get into that. We didn't want to get into that mindset early on where we said we're going to go out to these houses. Absolutely not. So that first weekend, we went to 2 clients' houses. The first weekend we went to 2 clients' houses, and we said absolutely never again. And we didn't have to go. We just wanted to try it out and just see what it looked like. We wanted to get our hands wet. We wanted to get our feet wet. Absolutely not necessary. We didn't learn a damn thing, and we were better off working behind our computer like we normally do. So some of those first jobs we did, this is why we tell our students, you absolutely do not need to go out to your clients' houses. What up, Donnie? You absolutely do not need to go out to your clients' houses. There are systems that you can put in place. So questions that people ask us all the time, one of the things is like, how do you quote houses, right? Do you have to do a walkthrough? What happens if somebody doesn't show up to a job? What happens if somebody does a bad job? What happens? And you see I'm asking a bunch of what happens if questions. But that's how a lot of our students start. They start with those what if questions. And they're always thinking about the worst case scenario all the time. Now, understood, when you start a business, you're going to think about those worst case scenarios. But we never think about what happens if this goes well. What happens if you book a job and the cleaner shows up and it goes well? What happens if you absolutely have no hiccups with a client? What happens if you never have to go out and quote a home? So we started thinking of an abundance mindset where we said, we're only going to think positively about this business. So some of our first jobs, yes, Coach Donnie has entered the chat. She's just poking around. She ain't gonna be here for long. We just spoke to her on Monday. She ain't gonna be here for long. But we started to have an abundance mindset about this business from the very beginning. So when you are a new business owner and you're like, I launched this business for us 6 years ago, we launched this business. We had no traction in Dallas, Texas. So us coming into the Dallas, Texas market, what are some things that we could do to separate ourselves from the competition so that we can start getting jobs as soon as possible? So I'm going to break down some of those things that we did, but also a lot of things that our students are doing as well. And they're also doing it better than us. If we got any Dallas Texans in the house, drop the word Dallas in the chat, y'all. So let's talk about some of the back end things, right? So if you go and look at your competition, if you literally go and Google, let's say you take the top 10 cleaning companies in your area or any business, the top 10 businesses in your area, whether it be barbers, whether it's lawn guys, whether it's a pool guy, whether it's whatever, if you Google their businesses and you look at their top positive reviews, the top 5 or 10, or the top 5 or 10 negative reviews, you're going to see some commonalities between them. And this is what we did. So one of the first things we did before we launched, we said, what are people doing really, really well? And what are they doing really poorly at? And how can we take what the people who are doing really good at and also improve the things that our competition is doing really bad at? So some of the things that may seem like common sense to you are actually not common sense to these business owners, meaning they're having a challenge in their businesses every day. So I put an example on Instagram earlier, and let me see if I can pull it up on my phone. I want to see if I can pull it up on my phone if it's not too difficult. It might be too difficult. I don't want to take too much away from the Instagram live. But essentially, what it was, we had a 5-star review from a client. And the 5-star, if you are familiar with us, actually, you know what? Let me pull it up on YouTube. Let me see. Actually, I'll read it to you guys. You guys get the point. But we had a 5-star review from a client. And in that review, it said, I'm going to read it to you guys. And it said, as a gift, I decided to give my daughter a morning of housekeeping service. I called 11 companies as I went down the list on Yelp. So let's break that down. So you think about if you think about you're a brand new business owner, and you're like, how can I beat the competition? Answering your phones. It may seem like common sense. Answering your phones. She said, I went down 11 companies on the list of Yelp. And you were the only company that answered. This is a live client review I'm reading to you guys, because I want it to make sense. So this is how you're able to beat the competition. So we weren't the top rated. We weren't the highest price. We were brand new in the business. All we did was pick up the phone. Now you may say, well, everybody could do that. Well, think about it like this. If you are a mom and pop shop, meaning you're the only one doing the work, you're the only one going to clients' homes, you're the only one doing the cleaning, you're the only one answering the phones, you're the only one marketing, you're the only one doing the customer service, who is going to answer the phones when you are the only one? It's going to be difficult, right? So picking up the phone, as simple as it sounds, you can beat the competition solely by picking up the phone. Now, servicing certain areas and being available on days that I offered and gave me a first-time customer discount. So answer timely, right? Service my area, were available on the days I offer. So we were available. We gave her the opportunity to work with us. We didn't, and if you think about the competition, they are always busy. And they take pride in that. They're saying in their mind, being busy means that, oh, I can turn people away at the door. But you don't want to get to the point where you're overly busy, meaning you can't take new clients on. And as you guys are joining, if you have any questions, you can drop them in the question box. I'm talking about how to beat the competition as a brand new business, because this is what we did when we first started. So I'm going through some back end things that can be solved before you even launch your business. So answering the phone, available on days, we give first-time customer discounts. First-time customer discounts. AJ Clean says entrepreneur. And if you are on YouTube, drop a 1 in the chat, or Instagram. Drop a 1 in the chat if you are OG. If you've been here for some years, you know who we are. Drop a 2 in the chat if this is the first time you're hearing us speak. And so, offering a first-time customer discount. We give every single client a first-time customer discount. And the reason we do that is because we want to give them that feeling of, we're here to support you. You're taking a chance on us. You're giving us an opportunity for us to service you. So while we're able to do that, we're saying a thank you. Now, the first-time customer discount, it doesn't have to be anything crazy. I see a bunch of ones here. Okay. 2 if you are brand new and this is the first time you're hearing me speak. And the first-time customer discount doesn't have to be anything crazy. We first started, we were doing $10 off. Now we do 20 because we raised our prices a little bit. My dog is barking. I don't know why. For him to be barking at 7 o'clock at night. 1 second, y'all. 1 second. 1 second. We okay? Look. Why are you barking? My bad, y'all. My bad. I'm here. I am here. My bad, y'all. I had to jump out. When you live in Dallas, Texas, and your dog is barking at 7:30, almost 7:30 at night, you got to go see what the hell they barking at. Because there should be nobody in my neighborhood. There's literally a bunch of old people here. So there should be nobody walking around. But I was about the first-time customer discount. So we give this to all of our clients because they're taking a chance on our business. They don't know us from a hole in the wall. And it's our opportunity to say thank you. So we like to say thank you up front, giving them the opportunity to work with us. So we get first-time customer, Amazon package. So exactly. So we give them first-time customer discounts. Another thing, being professional on the phone. She said, my daughter was thrilled with their professionalism and cleanliness. The last thing she mentioned was actually cleaning the home. She didn't come on here. She didn't give us that review and say they did a 5-star job on the cleaning. She mentioned 5-6 other things before she even mentioned the cleaning. So we didn't have to be the best service in terms of cleaning. She wanted to get someone who answered the phone, that was professional, that was on time, and then did what they said they were going to do. So these are some ways that that people don't even think about that they could beat the competition with. And if you go down at least 5-10 reviews of the top companies in your area and 5-10 companies, you'll see what they're good at and the challenges they have. So as a new business owner, what can you do to pretty much make your services a lot more professional for them? So when we started our business, one of the first marketing platforms we used, because we said we didn't want to spend any money on marketing because we were very cheap. We're like, we're not going to spend any money on marketing. So one of the platforms we used to market our services was nextdoor.com. Nextdoor.com. And all we did was, when we found our first cleaner, we marketed it on nextdoor.com. And what we did was we typed in the word cleaner, and our goal was to find out who needed cleaning services in our area, which was Dallas, Texas. And all we started doing is messaging those people. Another thing you could do, you go to Facebook groups. Facebook groups was another thing we did. Very early on, we started messaging people. We saw that you're looking for a cleaning service. How can we be of assistance? We started messaging those people. Our first cleaning job, we got our first cleaning job from nextdoor.com. We messaged the client. We said, hey, we saw you looking for a cleaning service. We were one of the first ones to respond. We sent them our phone number. We sent them our website, and they went and booked it. So they booked our services. We sent it to our cleaner, and our cleaner went to go do the job. Now, the challenge was when our cleaner got there, there was literally a barn in the back, or a farm in the back of the house. Coming from New York, I ain't never see a farm in nobody's house or a barn in no one's house ever. I don't know where you guys are from. And when I say a farm or a barn, it was literally pigs in the back of the house. Now, this wasn't a farmhouse. This wasn't a barnyard house. This is a a one-story home in a very prestigious area, and they literally had pigs in the backyard. So you can imagine how our cleaner reacted when they got there. They've seen some things. I'm sure cleaners have seen some things. So when they got there, they sent us a text like, Anthony, there's a pigsty. And we was like, all right, cool. It's dirty. How much how much do we need to charge? She said, no, literally, there's a pigsty in the house. And she sent us images of that. So I was like, this is not for me. This is not what we want to do. So after she sent us those pictures, we spoke to the client. It was like, hey, we're not used to handling jobs like this, but we'll do the best we can. What do you want us to focus on? And they said, oh, thank you. And we had a conversation with her. We had a conversation with the cleaner, and the cleaner was able to take care of the job. But there was literally a pigsty in the house. So we didn't know how to handle it when we first started. So we got our first job, and we didn't know how to handle it because we never faced anything like that. It was our first job. We didn't expect to go into somebody's home, and there would be our cleaner went into the home, and there would be an actual pigsty there. So all we did was what we can do, right? We communicated. Going back to that Yelp review I just told you guys about. This is how you're able to beat the competition. This is how you're able to get your clientele from the very beginning. Communication is going to be key in this business. So what happens when something goes right? What happens when something goes wrong? Another one of the things we did early on, especially when we first started, was we over-communicated with our clients because we didn't know what we didn't know. So, appreciate that. Look, you're going to be taking notes from me. Let's pin that right there. Let's pin that right there. Can I add you as a moderator too? Let's pin that right there. And we got to hop on the phone. I didn't forget about you. We got to hop on the phone. That's how you provide value. So providing value to your clients. At the end of the day, a cleaning is a luxury service. Can everyone afford it? Maybe not. But those who can afford it value their time over their money, essentially. They would rather have their time back. So some of the things we did from the very beginning was we allowed our clients to find us, pay us, and book us online. So how do they find us? By having an easy-to-use website. So I've talked to cleaning business owners, and I've seen some of our students. Our students can come and be cleaning business owners who's been doing this 5-10 years because they are working solely off of word of mouth. Our students have an easy-to-use website where clients can find them, right? So they have a Googleable website, and their business names are super important, especially when you start this business. Your name is going to be super important because Google is going to be, when someone types in whatever service it is, they're going to type in two things: location and what they're looking for. Yes or yes. Location and what they're looking for. Yes or yes. So some of the things they are looking for: cleaning service and your location. Dallas, Texas. Maid service in West Virginia. So we've noticed that, especially some of the I don't want to say more established, but the cleaners who've been doing this for 5, 10, 15 years, they might have something like Anthony's Cleaning Service. Well, you got to remember, when you go to Google, when you type in cleaning service, no one's searching for Anthony. No one's searching for Anthony or Janoka's cleaning service. No one's looking for AJ's cleaning service. Well, not AJ, Anthony and Janoka, right? They are looking for cleaning service in location. So from the very beginning, you're going to have an upper hand on the competition because we were able to distinguish ourselves separately from them just based on the name of our business. People automatically assumed we were a large company, a large entity, just based off our name. Some people are asking, like, are you guys a franchise service? No, why would you think that? Oh, because of the name of your website. We gave off franchise vibes, as the young kids say, without even having a franchise. Clients just assume that based on our name and our website. So when you see that, you're automatically going to assume higher prices. So you're probably going to be willing to pay more because you're automatically like, well, they got a beautiful website. They got the logo. They got the ability to book them online. I'm automatically going to have to pay more. I'm just going to assume that. So our client base came with the understanding that our price is going to be higher just based off of our digital presence. So that helped us stand out from the competition as well. Another thing, having our clients be able to book us online. So you could do that with a ton of platforms. Somebody asked us that earlier. Like, what is your CRM platform? Our CRM doesn't matter. But what are you using for clients to be able to book you online, book your services? You can use ZenMaid. You can use Booking Koala. You can use Launch 27. There are tons out there. But you have to be using something because your business needs to be open 24/7. So if it's midnight, your clients find you online, they're not going to call you, they're not going to text you. But if your website had Jobbers, another one that you could use, right? But if you have the ability for clients to find you and book you online, your business is now open 24/7. So this is another way you can stand up from the competition as a brand new business owner. So we mentioned answering the phone, offering first-time customer discount. We offer professionalism. That is super important. What do you do when the client calls you? How do you react? What happens if you miss a call? What do you do when you miss a call? Are you accepting those leads? Are you doing follow-up? What's your follow-up timeline? We work 9 to 5 jobs, so we couldn't answer all the phones. We couldn't answer every single phone call that came in. So one of the things we did was we used a platform called Grasshopper. And what Grasshopper or Ring Central or any platform allows you to do is you could do a message back or a call back. So meaning if you miss a call, you could set up an auto text or auto ringer to that client. And they will say, hey, I just missed your call, such and such. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. If you are in a rush, you could go to our website here and book your services. And believe it or not, a lot of clients don't want to talk to you if they don't have to. So they would rather go to that link that they wasn't aware of and book your services. So now when we're missing calls, we are at least getting back to the client as soon as possible. So they get that automatic text, but then as soon as you're available, now the goal would be to get them on the phone. People call it like speed to lead. That's like a thing. I don't know, but it's a thing. So you're able to do speed to lead. And I tell this story sidebar, but it's still relevant to beating the competition as a brand new business. So this was about 10 or 11 o'clock at night. And I don't know about you guys, but being from New York, we take all animals seriously. Like, we don't play with nobody's animals. No matter how cute or fuzzy it is or whatever, we don't play with anyone's animals. So this is a personal story. Janoka hates when I tell it. But it's 10 o'clock at night, and we heard a click clack in the kitchen. And the first thing we think about coming from New York is that we assumed there was a rodent. So we went crazy. So we turned around, and it was actually a small bunny in our house. Our dog chased it from the backyard into the house, and it was under. We found that it was under the under the stove. It's a relevant story, so stay with me. So it's under the stove. Long story short, I pull everything out. I try to grab the rabbit, but he's like in the corner, so I can't get him. It's 10 o'clock at night. My wife was like, I'm going in the room. I'm taking Alani with me. I'm not coming out till this rabbit is gone. So I'm like, how the hell do I get this rabbit out of my house? I can't reach it. If I reach it and I don't catch it, it's going to run around the house. So I have to keep it right there. So I'm like, all right, if I could find somebody to come get this rabbit out of my house tonight, I will pay whatever they want. So drop some numbers in the chat. How much do you think they charge me at 11 o'clock at night to come get a rabbit out of my house? YouTube, do the same. Give me a number. Give me $1. Give me $1 amount. Give me $1. How much do you think someone charged me to come get a rabbit out of my house at 11 o'clock at night? So, and while you guys are jumping in the chat, I'm telling you this story because it's super relevant to beating the competition. So I called 9 companies at 10 o'clock at night. 9 companies. I called them. I went to their call center. I called them and went to answering service. I called them and said, we'll get back to you in the morning. I called them, and all of these websites said open 24/7. So how are you open 24/7 if I can't call you? Janelle says 500. Dolores says 500. Lily says 200. We got some 200s in the chat here. Hartwig says 1,000. Tiara says 1,000. Cassandra says 100, 150. So $200, Lily. So I called 9 companies. I said the first person that picks up the phone will get my business. So the first person I picked up, he said, "Oh, we can't come out tonight. We could come out in about a day or two." I said, "Wow, okay, a day or two is pretty far along." So I called the next company. They said, "We could get to you tonight." I said, "How much is it?" They said, "We won't know until we get there." I said, "Oh damn, they about to charge me." But they picked up the phone at 10 o'clock at night. Not saying that our cleaning business does that, but I'm saying have the ability to be open 24/7. It went to their answering service. No, it went to their call center. The person sent it over to their team, and their team called me. And their team called me with the explanation that we're not sure how much it's going to cost, but here's the range that it may cost based on what you have and based on if it's running around the house. So he got there. He came. It was 10 o'clock at night. I probably got somebody at 10:30. He came at 11. So he was quick. He was on time. He was quick. They picked up the phone. So he got there. It took him 4 minutes to get this rabbit. And he said, "I'm happy you called me because if you reached behind there and you didn't get it and it ran around your house, it probably would have cost you double what I would have had to charge you today." He charged me $500 for a 4-minute job. But it wasn't the 4 minutes that I was paying for. I was paying for the service. I was paying for that he was convenient. I was paying for that he picked up. I was paying for that he came to 11 o'clock at night. And I was paying for that he did what he said he was going to be able to do. So I was paying for convenience. So I automatically knew that. So I'm not the only person. $500 was the amount. So some of you guys was actually on point. $500 for a 4-minute job. I'm in the wrong business. But I'm telling you that story because that's the type of service that's going to help you beat the competition. He didn't do anything special. All he did was pick up the phone. He said, "I could be there in 30 minutes," and he was there in 30 minutes. He came and did what he said he was going to do. And then even after that, I asked him, how can I pay him? He said, "Oh, we'll send you the automatic payment." Actually, you know what? Before he came, I had to put a credit card on file. And that's what we do with our cleaning business as well. So that no one's ever going to run away from you, run away from your money, run away with your money. So having a credit card on file, again, you can use Book and Koala, you can use Jobber, you can use ZenMaid, you can use all of that to do that. But I had a credit card on file, and I asked him, "How can I pay you?" He's like, "Oh, we got a card on file, and we'll send you the invoice, but then we'll charge you after we leave." As soon as he left, he charged the card. But I'm telling you that because he was able. There we go. MB said you had an urgent need, and they responded with a sense of urgency. Exactly. So that lady who showed up, that I showed you the Yelp review for, she had a sense of urgency. She needed her home cleaned for her daughter as a special occasion. She called 11 companies. No one picked up the phone, and we was able to charge her because of that sense of urgency. So these are ways that you can beat the competition. These are ways that you could beat the competition. But then also, let's go into customer service a little bit. That is super important. And you think that being the competition means that I'm going to give you a bunch of super secret methods and ways. No, it's actually the opposite. It's about doing the basics better than everyone else. That's what we got good at. We were doing the basics better than everyone else. Tim Duncan wasn't a great dunker. Tim Duncan wasn't a three-point shooter. Tim Duncan from the San Antonio Spurs wasn't a great up and down player. Tim Duncan had 2 or 3 moves that he was excellent at. It wasn't sexy. It wasn't cute. It wasn't things that you saw in the highlights on ESPN. But he did 2 or 3 things really well. And he was able to beat the competition over and over and over again with the same exact moves. Because once you get the basics down, you can always go into that. You can always go into your drop step. Coach Corey said, "Real men get it done. Customer service is huge in cleaning." Coach Corey, he already knows. And if you think about it like this, some of the best teams in sports, They don't do anything crazy. Like the San Antonio Spurs, when they went on their run, nobody could beat them, and they was upset. The highlights were boring. There was no flashy dunks. There was no flashy passes. But the San Antonio Spurs did the basics, and they did it really well. And some of those basics that I outlined that MB, the staffing lady, outlined for me: answering the phone, offering customer service discounts, be professional, pick up the phone, be nice, sell yourself. Let's talk about customer service for a little bit as well, because I think that is super crucial to be in the competition. So I'm pulling up something right quick. So let's say for us, we had a 9-to-5 job, and it was very difficult for us to do some things in the business the way we wanted to. So we had to outsource and delegate some of that. I know myself that I am not the best person to be on the phone with an angry client. Some of you guys got some of my personality in the DMs or the emails or even on these lives. Sometimes I'm not the best person to help you in a certain situation. I know that about myself. I'm a very direct, I'm a very to the point, I'm a very no BS, that's my personality. And it doesn't fit all situations. But I understand that. I know myself. I manage people for a living. And I know that my management style wasn't the best fit for everyone. So I had to tailor it in certain situations. I didn't own that business when I worked my 9-to-5. But the teams that I manage and work with, I had to curb my personality sometimes. I know that everyone cannot take that direct personality. I can't tell you that, you know what, you're BSing me right now, and you might want to go take a break and get back to me when you got something real to say. Because that might not be for everyone. You might know you're sitting there BSing me, but that might not be for everyone. Like, even when I do my sales calls sometimes, right? I get on the phone with people, I tell them straight, like, I'm not a sales guy. I'm not here to sell you on anything. I'm here to tell you who I am and what I do and how this could be of assistance to you. You either like it or you don't. And it doesn't make me never mind. But I know that may not be the best route for everyone. So what we did was, in our business, me and my wife, Janoka, she was very good. She's very good working with people. I'm not saying I can't work with people, but I just know my personality sometimes could be off-putting, and I understand that. Well, her personality is actually worse than mine, but she's a lot nicer about it. So what we did was we delegated those responsibilities. She answered the phones for the clients who were upset. She answered the phones for the clients who needed to escalate. And sometimes I would even say things like, let me send it to my manager. Even though she's not my manager, I might put her off as the bad guy. And the reason I did that was because there will be a certain tone that you would have with a guy that you may not have with a woman, especially as an angry customer. So I recognized that, and I said, you know what? Let me send these angry clients to my wife. She's really good at customer service. She's really good with people, and let me allow her to walk people off the edge. And she was really good at that. Because I would get on the phone with people like, you want a refund? What are we talking about? What are we doing here? I'm like, listen, you want a refund? Here you go. Stay on my life forever. Let's move on. I don't need your money. You're doing more harm than good right now. And I will move on. But I know that's not the best situation in all given circumstances. Sometimes there might be a miscommunication that may have came into place. So for us, we just had an example recently. We just had our highest week in the cleaning service this past week. We did 70 cleanings, and it was about $20,000 of revenue this past week. But there was an issue that came up that week. There was I call that go away money. Yeah, you take your money, like let's part ways. I don't even need to talk to you. So, but I know that's not the best case scenario. Sometimes you need to understand where people are coming from. Maybe there was miscommunication. So, for example, we just did a cleaning where one of our cleaners went to the home and it wasn't as described. So the client was upset that we didn't know that. But we knew there had to be a miscommunication somewhere, because if it was as dirty as claimed, why didn't we catch that on the front end? So we spoke to our team, and what we did is we pulled the phone call and we said, okay, what was the questions that were not asked here? We said, what were the questions that were not asked here? So we found out that it was like a post-construction cleaning is where usually there's construction done in the home and the cleaners come in after. So there's dust, there's particles everywhere. And normally we don't do those type of cleanings. but they pay the big bucks. So, but we didn't know that that was the type of cleaning we were walking into. So we listened to the phone call and we said, okay, what was the miscommunication here on our side as the business owners? Because sometimes we are wrong and we got to be able to admit that. But we have to know where we failed at so we can do better next time. And we got to tell our clients, how do you tell your clients when you aren't right, when you mess up? That's a big one too. Because a lot of times business owners be like, listen, I'm right all the time. Now, I don't believe the customer is always right. Absolutely not. But there are times where we have to admit fault. We have to accept fault in a situation. But we recognize that during this process, we didn't get the questions right. So there are questions that you can ask the client to find out how dirty their home is and what they may need from that cleaning service. So these are things we learned at the very beginning of our business that sometimes they do fall through the cracks. But we realize these are ways that we can beat the competition. Another way we beat the competition is, like, what are some of your guarantees for your cleaning service? What are some of your guarantees? So something we might say something like, we guarantee 100% satisfaction based off of this, and this. So a person will be more inclined to go with your service because there's a guarantee attached to it. But some people may be looking for that guarantee so that they can get their money back. And we've had that happen as well. But more often than not, that's not going to happen. So what guarantees are you offering for your clients? So I'm going to pause there. I know I said a lot. I'm going to pause there. I'm going to give you guys the ability to ask any questions that you have as well. Coach Corey said, pick up the phone, be nice, sell yourself. Exactly. I'm going to pause for a second. I'm going to allow you guys to ask any questions. Oh, there's some questions in the question box. Cool. This is a good question. So it said, what are the best ways to transition from cleaning yourself to hiring proper employees to focus on managing your cleaning business? So that's a question we get all the time. How do you get yourself out the business? How do you get that CEO mindset or that business owner mindset? So I would say one of the first things you do when you want to, especially for our students who are in the cleaning business or for those who are in it that aren't our students, one of the first things that I would recommend everyone do is decide, what you're good at, especially if you are doing the cleaning. Are you really the best person who can do this job? And all cleaners are going to say, I'm the only person that can do this job. But we know that's not the case because we know there's always going to be someone better than you. And if you are the best person, if you are the best person that does the thing, maybe you are. But most of the time we aren't. So you got to be honest with yourself as a business owner. Am I the best person to do this job? Like, I wasn't the best person to answer the phones, and I recognize that. And I understood that. So I said, we're going to have my wife do the phone calls. I'm going to handle the tech support, the marketing, that type of stuff. But I wasn't the best person to be on the phones. So your hiring is going to be first buy the course. Oh, speaking of, I forgot about that. cleaningbusinessuniversity.com, y'all. We talk about hiring. So that's one of the biggest things that we tell people to go through. Focus on your hiring process. Corey reminded me. It's Black Friday, y'all. We are doing our Cleaning Business University. This is actually a good commercial break while we get some questions in the chat. cleaningbusinessuniversity.com/Black Friday. If you want to get our Cleaning Business University course for about $750 something, it's the lowest it's been the entire year. It will never go this low again, and we will be raising it as we get closer to Black Friday. So make sure you tap into that. And if you are on Instagram, type in BF if you want that discount. So let me put that in. BF if you want the Black Friday discount. Appreciate Corey reminding me. Janoka would have been like, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? I would have forgot. This is why it's best that we both do these. So your hiring process is going to be one of the first things you do. Your hiring process is going to be one of the first things you do, and you got to focus on. Or you could go to, actually, you know what? Yeah, that's fine. Type in BF. I think it sends it to you. I don't know if it does. That's some of the automation challenges we have. So Coach Corey said, and Corey is one of our Cleaning Business University coaches. He's down in Louisiana. And he's absolutely crushing it. So he said, even as a cleaner, which I am, I had to let go of the business and scale, which means taking myself out and training, taking myself out of training people up to handle things, even your subcontractors. That is essentially key right there. So taking yourself out the business so that you could have others handle the business for you. We were about 5 years into our cleaning business before we hired our operations manager. 5 years. Even though we had customer service, even though we had agents, even though we had email marketing, even though we had all these things, we felt like we couldn't give up the reins of our business. Why? Because we felt like no one could do it as good as us. But that's absolutely false. That's absolutely false. We were having our daughter Alani, and we said we have 6 weeks to get our operations manager in place, hire her, train her, get her comfortable so that she's running the business so that when we have our daughter, we can step 100% away from the business. That very next month in our cleaning business, we did over $60,000, which is the highest we've ever done at that time. The very next month, we had our highest month once we stepped out the business. Do you think that's a coincidence? Absolutely not. We were torn different ways. We were managing this business. We were managing the social media. We were managing Cleaning Business University. We were managing, we were doing a bunch of different things. So we brought our operations manager in, we trained her, we trusted her, and then we let her loose. And the very next month, we had our highest month in the cleaning business. But that wasn't a coincidence. When we let reins of the business, she was able to see the holes. She was able to see and fill the gaps. She was able to see what we needed, things we were lacking because she had a different perspective. And she let that thing take off. So those are some of the things I would focus on, especially as a cleaner, if your goal is to get out the business as soon as possible. But we talk about getting out the business in Cleaning Business University / Black Friday, which you'll get Cleaning Business University at the lowest discount. It's been all year. What other questions y'all got? Let me see. So, Brianna Nicole, did that answer your question? I want to make sure. And YouTube, y'all are quiet tonight. What questions y'all have on YouTube? Brianna Nicole, did that answer your question? Hartwig said, come back and make it right. I worked years ago with residential clean. Absolutely. Absolutely. So those are some of the things we did, especially at the very beginning, giving 100% satisfaction guarantees to our clients. Another thing was responding to reviews, negative reviews, respond to negative reviews, especially as a new business owner. It absolutely sucks. Let me tell you what we did to alleviate that feeling, but then also to make sure we use that negative review in a positive way and spin it to get more clients in the future. Is that okay? Is that okay if I give you guys that game? Brianna say, yes, thank you. No doubt, Brianna. Hope that helped. So when we got those first negative reviews, it absolutely sank our heart. It was bad, y'all. We was like, yo, we want to give up. We hate this. We want to quit. I remember being at a bar on a Friday night and a negative review, and I had all reviews coming to my cell phone, my personal email. So I wanted to see them as they came in. I don't know why. Maybe I like pain. Maybe I like torture. I don't know, but I don't recommend that for anyone. Your reviews. This is my first time on a broadcast. What's up, Bridget? So I had reviews coming to my personal email address, which I don't recommend for anybody, no matter what business you're in. But I'm going to tell you how to use these negative reviews as a new business owner to now get more clients in the future. So negative review comes in on a Friday night. We are at the bar. We are drinking, having a good time. And this is years ago. And we just launched our business a couple weeks ago. And we were like, yo, we're doing well. Positive reviews coming in. We get a negative review. Sank our hearts. It sucked. Oh my God, I want to quit. This is not for me. We was like, what do we do? First thing you always got to do, we always say, don't respond right then and there. And I say don't respond right then and there because there's a cheat code to this. Yelp or Google may take it down. Yelp or Google may take down that negative review. Sometimes they do. No rhyme or reason. Let's just leave it at that. So don't respond immediately. Give it at least 24 hours. But then also what it allows you to do is Not because they may take it down, but because it gives you time to breathe. It gives you time to think. It gives you time to chill. It gives you time to think about how you're going to respond to that. Because especially as a new business owner, your first reviews are going to be the most crucial ones for your business. So we don't respond. We don't want to respond immediately. We want to give it at least 24 hours. Cool off. Go take a walk. Hit the bar. Hit the gym. Whatever you like doing, go do it. Clear your mind and then come back to it 24 hours later. That's key number one. Key number two, find out where you could have improved from within that review. There's always a little sense of truth within every negative story. Well, at least some negative stories. But if you could find the positive so that you could grow your business from that, take it out, extract it. You need that. You need that. Take out that little part of, hold on for a sec. Take out that little part that may be negative or that may be positive and see how you could grow from it. They may say something like, oh my God, this is the worst service ever. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, why are they saying that? What went wrong? Before you get that negative review, you should be calling all of your clients within the same day after the service. The same day or after the service, no matter what day it is. If it's Saturday, you call them Saturday. If it's in the morning, you call them at night. If it's Saturday night, you call them Sunday morning, whatever it is. You want to get to them before they get to those platforms. And let's say you miss it. Let's say you miss it. Jay the Queen, I'll get to your question. I promise you. Well, I don't promise you. Drop it in the question box. And then I'll get to it so it doesn't get missed. So we're going to give it 24 hours because it may disappear. We're also going to give it 24 hours because we want to be clear-minded. Also, we want to make sure what can we learn from that mistake. So there's going to be something in there that you could take away. And we're going to use that same mistake and use that to tell the client where we messed up. We're going to admit fault. We're never going to deny 100% of review unless the person's completely off the wall. And I say that because now when you respond to that negative review, you guys use Yelp and Google. Yelp or Google. Drop it in the chat. Use Yelp or Google. Have you ever looked up a business's Yelp or Google page? Drop a yes in the chat if you ever looked up a business's Yelp or Google page. And have you ever gone to the negative reviews of a business's Yelp or Google page? Okay. AJ Money, I saw the BF. I'll send you the link for our Black Friday discount as well. Cool. I think Janoka's on here, or she's catching some of them. So you guys have used Yelp or Google. So you've gone to the negative reviews, and sometimes that's the first thing we look at is negative reviews, because sometimes we want to find out how the business owner responded to the negative reviews. Are they an asshole about it? Or are they like, do they understand? Did they take ownership? Or was the client, and some of y'all be wilding. Y'all know for a fact, some of y'all be wilding on these reviews. Y'all be thinking y'all Keith Lee, and we get that, right? We get that sometimes. But you're not Keith Lee. And these reviews do hurt these small businesses. But if we go to negative reviews and we find out how the business owner responded to it, that should give us an inclination on how accommodating the business owner is. So some of the things you always want to have in your reviews: accept fault where there is fault, accept ownership where you can accept it, how you plan to rectify the situation for the client if they will allow you to. You should have already spoken to them on the phone. You should have already emailed them. You should have already text messaged them. If that did not happen, the first time you're hearing about the review is on one of these platforms, you call the client, you email them, you text them. You already tried it once, try it again, you never know what may happen. So what you want to do is also find out how they responded to it, seeing where they took accountability, if there was any, see if there was a miscommunication, because sometimes it could just be miscommunication. And I understand that. And find out how the owner wants to try to rectify it, especially as a new business. Especially as a new business. because those are going to be the ones that stick out further than the positive reviews. That stick out more than the positive reviews. For like Cleaning Business University, we have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of testimonials. I have a folder on my phone of just, I got my first cleaning. Thank you guys so much. It hit 100K, hit 20K, hit 10K. We got hundreds and hundreds of hundreds. But there will be somebody that comes on here and says we're a scam. It is what it is. You can't stop everyone, and you can't please everyone, and that's understandable. But they could have been hurt from something else that they got. But we don't know that in the business. We only know what they say. We only know, and then you guys only know what you see. So what you're going to see is a negative review. But how do you respond to it? How do you rectify it? How do you assure the next customer that this is not the case for everyone? What is okay? Janoka's texting me. I don't know why she's texting me right now, but so those are going to be the most crucial things you do, especially as a new business owner, to beat the competition. Like we went over some of the customer service things. We went over some of the marketing things. We went over some of the advertising things. We went over being open 24/7. We had a client book us at midnight on Yelp.com. Yelp, midnight. We didn't know who she was. We didn't know what she wanted. Well, we knew that she wanted a cleaning. But she booked us at midnight on Yelp. She found us, booked us, and paid us online. Like just like that company that came and got the rabbit out my house for $500. I need this service. So I'll hop in here. I'll answer some questions. What y'all got? Real Men Get It Done said, being a business owner will help you develop skills you had no idea you had. Absolutely, Corey. You never respond your first mind. You will take it personal. Yes, you will. You will take it personal. I take it personal. I still take reviews personal to this day. Even though we have over 500 positive reviews for our cleaning business, I still take them personal. But I know we can't be right 100% of the time. And you know you can't solve everyone's problem. You got to be willing to accept that. Janelle said, I always go to Google and go to negative reviews first. Uh-oh. Janelle, you one of those. Janelle is one of those. You got to be careful with Janelle. Often, business owners' unprofessional responses turn me off from further considering doing business with them. Absolutely. Absolutely. But I always find, especially being in business for 6 years now, I understand that. And I try to give business owners grace because I understand there is no one that's going to do you a negative service purposely. And think about it like this. Even if you have a business and you can't control every aspect of that business. If I hire somebody as a server or a waitress and that waitress is having a bad day, and she comes and services you, and it's a bad service, do you think the business owner or the CEO intentionally gave you bad service? That's the way I process things now, being a business owner. Because I know I can't see every single gap or every single hole to the very end. But do you think the CEO or the owner of the business, when they first started their business, said, I'm going to give Anthony a bad service today? Intentionally. I want him to give me a negative review. Or could there have been a breakdown in communication? Or could someone just had a bad day? So that's as business owners, we would love that grace, but we can't get it all the time, and I understand that. Sometimes we can't get grace with y'all. We said we was going to show up on live at 7 o'clock. I got to make sure I'm here. Somebody would have been on my DMs like, oh, my God, you said you would show up at 7. It's 7:01. Where are you? No, they always need to be on the A. Exactly. Somebody going to be in my DM 7:01. Oh, my God, you didn't show up. Okay, understood. Apologies. Things came up. What can I do to help you? So Jada Queen, there we go. She said, how did you set your pricing when you first started your business? So this is a good question. It keeps the conversation on track too. So how to beat the competition, especially as a brand new business owner. So one of the things we did in terms of pricing our services, we made sure we were in alignment with the market rate. We weren't too far above. We weren't too far below. We started by being in line with the market rate. And then we said, in order to get some quick wins or some quick reviews, let's lower our prices a little bit. So we started like the first couple of weeks, we were probably like right in line. But we said, in order to get some quick reviews, some quick wins, let's lower our prices by like, let's say 10% or so. Or Let's give every single customer a first-time customer discount. So they think they're getting a discount, but in actuality, we're just bringing them down to our normal rates. So we didn't overcomplicate our pricing. And then another thing we wrote notice was clients were real skeptical about the hourly services. So some people do hourly services where, especially in the cleaning business, where, all right, we're going to be there for 4 hours, we're going to charge you 4 hours. Clients start to think you're milking the clock. They want to, they're now thinking that you're trying to get over on them. So we said we do a flat rate service. Now it's easier to quote. The client doesn't have to think about how many bathrooms you have. Done. This is your pricing based on these amount of hours. Now it's still an hourly service, but we're not charging the client at that hourly rate, if that makes sense. So as a new business owner, especially to beat the competition, make yourself right in alignment with the market. Don't try to come in and be the top-notch, top don with no reviews, with no social proof. That's another thing. How quickly can you get social proof for your business? Because no one's going to book your services if you don't have any reviews. So can you do some cleanings for your friends? Can you do some cleanings for your family members? Can they give you honest testimonials about who you are and what you've done? So now you could get some reviews early on. You got some social proof early on saying who you are and what you do and how you've helped them. So now you're able to justify your prices a lot more. Does that make sense? Want to make sure. Jada Queen, does that make sense? Want to make sure I answered your question. What other questions I got? We are live all week. So AJ said, how much do you actually need to jumpstart this kind of business? So cleaningbusinessuniversity.com/Black Friday. We are giving you, the course right now is $750. Like, that's Cleaning Business University. That's what it is today. It won't be that way next week. It won't be that way next month. It's going back up to above $1,000. That's number one. Number two, we say for this business to have about $1,500 to start, because you're going to need things like your legitimizing your business bank account, your website, marketing, customer service. You're going to need those type of things. That's not going to be day one things. Those are going to be things that you're going to need over time. But you should have at least that. You should never, I tell everyone, you should never start a business with $0 in your bank account. Don't think this is a business you're going to start with no money and scale it to the moon. Now, in a way, $1,500 is no money, but it's relative. We were able to put $1,500 into a business, and now it's made over $2 million. That is unheard of. But you got to be willing to invest in yourself and your business. But great question. Do you charge for travel? Brianna said, do you charge for travel outside your cleaning radius or state you cannot service? No, we do not, because we only clean in areas where we have our cleaners. So if we are in Dallas and we are in Fort Worth and we don't have any cleaners in Oklahoma, we're not gonna service that client. So that's how we market our business. We only service the areas we have contractors in. What is the bare minimum I can pay to enroll? I'm working on a very tight budget. So Kelvin Cuts, I tell everyone, if possible, do not start this business on your last dime. Hear me out very clearly. Do not start any business on your last dime. Because what that will lead you to start doing is you will be acting out of desperation in your business. And what does that exactly mean? So there are clients that we turned away at the very beginning, because remember, we both had 9-to-5 jobs. We didn't need this business. So it was okay for me to say, I don't need your service. I don't need your money, because I had my 9-to-5 job paying for the business, and I wasn't surviving off of the business income. So everyone's situation is different. When we grew this business, our goal was to have it as a side hustle to just pay some bills. So I was very frank with clients saying, wait, we might not be the best service for you right now. Here's some other recommendations. But when you are starting a business on your last dime, you're now trying to get every single client in. So Kelvin Cuts, I would highly recommend you try to save up before you start a business, especially this business, because I want you to be comfortable. I want you to be able to tell clients no, because they're going to turn their headaches down the line. I'm absolutely telling you from experience. So I want you guys to think about that, especially when you're starting anything. Now, we say have to at least $1,500. I don't tell anyone to start anything less than that. That's like the bare minimum. Don't the leads cost money? How can you turn away customers when there's a cost to talk to them? Because I didn't need the money. Remember, I said we started this business outside of our 9 to 5. So remember, our goal was just to pay some bills with this cleaning business. We didn't want to build a multi-million-dollar business. It was just like, let's just pay some bills. So when we started, if we paid for a lead and a customer came in and it was a customer we did not want to service, we would let the client know we may not be the best cleaning service for you. And that's okay. You got to be okay with turning away those customers that you do not need or you do not want. So the lead didn't matter. The cost of the lead didn't matter. We would rather have our sanity. We would rather have our mindset. We would rather have our peace. We would rather have our faith over having that client's $250. So that's why we say at the very beginning, you have to have money to start a business, because if you don't, you will be accepting every single client that walks through that door that may not be a good fit for you. Does that make sense? All money ain't good money. Corey knows. Josh, can you do a live on how do you do online marketing for clients? That's going a little deep. Let me see what we got. Managing an entrepreneur, building a sustainable business. We could do that on the Q&A on the 24th. We could do that on the 24th, Josh. And it's kind of hard to share my screen on this, but we might be able to do that on the 24th. So tap in there. Keyword faith. Exactly. I want to keep my faith. Yeah, I want to be sane. So do you do one-on-one assistance? Also, where did you find your VA? So, great question. So we actually found our VA through a recommendation. So this was year 1. About 6 months in, we had a recommendation for a VA service, and we used them. All they did was answer the phones for us. So as we grew, we wanted more hands-on control of our VAs. So there's different type, especially. So this is another point as a new business owner. So if you can't answer the phones and you can't get back to clients, you need to hire people. You need to hire people who's going to answer the phones for you. That is super important in your business. And I say that because, hold on one second, y'all. And I say that because if you can't answer the phones, you can't get to the clients, they're gonna move on to the next business. So we hired VA services because we couldn't answer the phones. And all they did was just pick up the phone, take a message, and send it over to us. And that was it. And that was enough for us to launch our business. So that was in month maybe 5. I want to say month 4 or 5. We hired a VA service, but there are different levels of VA services. AJ, I'm sending, and if y'all want to, I'm sending you my number, 743 5329. This is my number? Yeah. And my team could actually, you know what? My team could reach out to you via DM and set up a phone call. Set up a phone call with the team, AJ. So you could have a person just answer the phones. You could have a virtual assistant or a remote client to answer the phones, do your bookings, kind of be like an operations manager for you, or you can have a full-on person to manage your business. There are different levels of assistance that you would need in your business, and it's up to you how you manage that. So we've had all 3 levels. We had a person just answer the phones. We had a person answer the phones, do customer service, and reach out to cleaners. And we had a person who managed the entire operations. That's an operations manager. She worked with us for now almost, I think, 3 years. 3 years now, operations manager. We moved her. We had a virtual assistant business. She was the operations manager for there. We moved her to our cleaning business, and now she's the operations manager for Cleaning Business University. and everything in the Hartzog Enterprises like system. So you have to find someone good. So do you recommend finding a VA immediately or to answer calls if I can't answer during the day? Especially as a new business owner, absolutely. Because every single call to you is going to be absolutely crucial. So as a new business owner, absolutely, you should have someone that at least answers the phones for you, take a message, name, email, phone number. That's all you need. Name, email, phone number. I'll send this over to the management team or the operations team, and they'll get back to you. You have to. That's very crucial at the very beginning. So as a new business owner, that's how you're going to beat the competition. Remember, I said if they are moving past your business, they're not coming back to you. They found you on Google or Yelp or any of these online platforms. And you don't pick up the phones. They are now moving past you. They've moved beyond you at this point. And they're moving on to the next company. They will never come back to you. Nah, they might come back. I'm guessing it. Another thing as a new business owner, you have to be. Nah, I'm not going to go that deep. I'm not going to go that deep today. We're already an hour in, but I want to know what questions you have. Let's see. How many contractors should you have to start? Coach Corey already knows. Shanae, 2 contractors minimum. We always recommend it. Now, some of you guys are going to do what you want to do because we know that's how you are, and we respect it. I understand that. I love that about you guys. But that's what we recommend, just so you can alleviate some of those headaches and those burdens that you will face early on as a business owner. But then also, we say minimum 2 people to be on your team. Now we have about, I think we have 15 people, but we might have 7, 8 reliable. This is why we say if you have one, if I got 15 and about 7, 8 are reliable, if you have one, how many are actually reliable? This is why we always say have at least 2 people so that you can say, all right, this person goes on vacation, this person's out for this week, this person's sick, this person does this. Now you got some people to play with, at least with 2. But that's going to be one of your challenges when you first start your business is not jumping the gun on certain things. Because you're going to say, well, I got 2 people, I'm ready to go. You're going to be like, I'm ready to go. But y'all, listen, it's been about an hour. Do you outsource to other countries for VAs? Our VA is actually in Jamaica, so yes. And we outsource. We've done Philippines, we've done Barbados, we've done West Indies. A lot of our VAs are West Indian. My wife's West Indian, and they're absolutely amazing as well. You can do Philippines. That's another one. What was the time period between going out dusting? You missed it a lot. What was the time period between hiring your contractors and landing your first contract? So that is a great question. So we hired our first contractor a week before this week. We hired our first contractor in 2017 last week, and we got our first client on Black Friday. So Black Friday was the official launch date of our cleaning business in 2017, which is why we do these live celebrations for the entire week. We come on here, we give game, we do hours of lives, and we give you guys everything that we know. This is our way of giving back, but then also saying thank you for being here for us. If you go back to our page on Instagram, you can literally scroll back and watch us create our business, our $1 million business at this point, closing on our second million. So this is why we do these IG live celebrations where we just come on here, we give game for a week. We celebrate with you guys, celebrating 6 years. Most businesses don't make it past whatever the first year number is, or let's say 3 years. They change the number every single year. We've done 6 years in this business. I would definitely be scrolling back. Some of them we deleted because they had too much personal information about our cleaning business out there, but you could go back and see us. Choose a logo, choose a name. You can see us do a lot of the things back then. And I like to say that because you can get the game. This is great for like a course refresher. Jazz, what up? Jasmine showing up. So guys, what questions do you have? You have anything else? I want to make sure I answered everything before. I want to make sure I kept good on my promise tonight. How to beat the competition as a new business owner. I gave you guys a lot of information. Hopefully you guys are taking notes. I know it's 2023, so you took notes on your computer, your phone, whatever it is. But I want to make sure I kept good on my promise. Was this helpful tonight? Did anyone feel like I wasted their time? And if I wasted your time, you could have been dipped, but it gives me feedback. So I said the contractors. Well, what did I miss? I'll definitely be scrolling back. And once you get the course, join the community. Absolutely. Absolutely. We have a live coaching call this week. So we also do live. So what we do is Hold on, I'm gonna get to you going out dusting. So what we do in Cleaning Business University / Black Friday, we have cleaning. We have our trademark course. We give you A to Z on how we started our cleaning business, um, how we launched, the name, the logo, the website, the marketing, the Yelp, the Googles, everything that we know, um, how we started, and then also in the we have a community as well where we do live coaching calls, we do live Q&As, we answer questions in there. We got coaches in there dropping gems. We got a community of like-minded individuals who are doing this thing together. So it's not just us. We don't make the community. The community makes the community. The people make the community. So we've grown that thing to over 200, 250 people who are doing the thing every single day. So it's not just us. It's also our students doing this as well. So you get that when you go to cleaningbusinessuniversity.com / Black Friday. And we got a live coaching call inside there. And we give the game, y'all. We don't hold anything back. And as we grow, as we develop, we come and teach the community everything we know. We are in the beginning processes of rolling something else out. We are trying to get that as well. We don't do any cold calling, Ajax. We don't do any cold calling. Yes, it's dope. I'm a believer of you guys. So glad I found you. Appreciate you going out dusting. So I saw that you chose your business name as well. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. So did you all start out in residential? So great question. Yes, we started out on residential and we never officially moved into commercial. There was no official we're going to do commercial now. The way the business operates was we had enough steam, meaning we had enough social proof, we had enough reviews. We're ranking on Google. So organically, people would start typing in commercial and our name comes up. So some commercial businesses, some small offices, some big contracts call us now, and we'll decide we want to do it or not. That's really how it worked for us. We didn't say actively, "Oh my God, we're gonna start doing commercial." We just had two of our students in our community just close out a $35,000 contract, and they said we don't do commercial. They just found us and they called us, and we figured it out. This is the great thing about being a business owner. You get to figure this stuff out as you go along, right? Now we don't teach you we don't teach you commercial. I say that all the time. We don't teach you commercial. But as a business owner, you get to figure these things out. We don't tell you every single thing you need. What do you say when Karen's upset with you and she wants her money back and she hates your business and she going to the BBB and she's gonna do this and that and the third? We don't tell you that stuff. And even if we did, it wouldn't matter because in the moment, are you gonna go through the course? Are you gonna grow up? Are you gonna go and look at the information while Karen's yelling your ears out? Probably not. So there are things you're going to have to go through, things you're going to have to develop, things you're going to have to learn on your own that we can't teach you, right? I can't teach you in your business when you're having a bad month. How do you feel about it? How does that impact you mentally? How does that impact your family? How does it impact you spiritually, emotionally? I can't teach you that. These are things that you have to go through and you learn and you develop as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, as a side hustler. So I know that's a long way to answer that question, but it does answer some other questions that are in the chat as well. But does that make sense, y'all? So going out dusting said, I decided to keep going out dusting as my business name. You crowned it for me, but was starting a new business strictly with your motto, different name, different business model. Let's go. Hopefully Janoka's in there getting these testimonials. She be slacking. More live calls, people doing the business there. Exactly. This is a great conversation to have. You want to grow your business. Absolutely. I'm a believer, you guys. Happy I found you all. Did you say Karen? But now that's real. No offense to the Karens, y'all. There might be some Karens in the chat. No offense to the Karens, but we had a Karen situation, and she was yelling our ears up, and I'm like, is her name Karen? As a Karen, you should be mindful of that. I feel right as a Karen, right? Like, my name is Karen. I want to be overly nice to people. I don't want to give out the stereotype of Karens are all mean and yelling and stuff, but her name was Karen. So Shanae said, do you have them agree to be available for a certain amount of hours a week? So Shanae said, do you have, I'm assuming she means contractors or our team members. So when you talk about being a new business owner and you have to start your business with at least 2 people, that's our recommendation. So we don't say they have to be available for a certain amount of hours. We ask them what their availability is on their job application, on their interview process. So we find out before they even interview with us, I'm only available 1 day a week. Yeah, this might not be for you. Or not 1 day, 1 hour a week. We find out, are there certain days and times they're available, and are there certain days and times they're not available? How much work do they want? That's the real question you need to ask your people when you're doing your interview process. How many more jobs are you looking to get? How many more jobs can you accept? So this will allow you as a new business owner to beat the competition, because when that client calls you and says, I called everyone, it's Thanksgiving week and I can't get anyone on the schedule, you can say, okay, I have somebody who's available this week. And they'll be willing to pay a fee because it's a holiday week. They know everyone's booked and you just happen to be available. Remember that Yelp review I read about an hour ago? She didn't mention anything about the cleaning service until the very end. She said they picked up the phone, they were kind, they were professional, they gave me a first-time discount, and they showed up. So again, I'm about to tap out, y'all. I think I answered tons of questions tonight. We don't use VAs for cold calling new leads. We use our VAs. Well, you can't be it's not cold calling to a lead if they opted in to a service that you're providing. So you would do cold calling to people who are not leads normally. So hope that answered the question. What else? What's the best way for clients to find your company against all other companies posted? How can you stick out online? Royalty, you got to scroll back to an hour ago. You got to scroll back to an hour ago. All right, guys. I promise you, last night I said we would be here tonight. Tonight, I'm saying we will be here tomorrow. We will be here all week. On our Instagram stories, on the YouTube, we're asking, what questions do you want us to have us? What questions do you want to have us answer? So we could get those questions before the IG Live. We promise you we will get to every single one. So, all right, guys. I think I answered at least most of the questions. If I didn't get to your questions tonight, come in tomorrow, put it in the question box, and I promise you, I'll answer. Brianna answered a lot of your questions tonight. I ain't answering no more, but I appreciate you guys. If you want Cleaning Business University, Black Friday discount is on sale now, $750. You could type in the word BF on any one of our posts, and we'll send you the Black Friday discount. You can send us a DM, we'll send it to you, or you could go to the link in our bio. If you're on YouTube, you could comment the word Black Friday. We can send you the link. If you're also on YouTube, you can like and subscribe to this page where you get automatic email reminders every time we go live. And we have a podcast that drops every single Tuesday where we're giving out free information, more than a side hustle. You cannot miss us anywhere. If you have our course, you're in our community, you cannot miss us anywhere. We are everywhere to be found. We will always answer your questions, whether we ask them on the podcast, whether we ask them on Instagram, whether we ask them on YouTube, whether we ask them via email. You cannot miss us. So we are everywhere to be found. Appreciate you guys. I'm tapping out. We will see you tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. Appreciate you guys. Like, subscribe, share if you're on YouTube, Instagram. We are out. Peace. Later, y'all.